While I was scrolling the interwebs a few days ago, I came across a painting called Dinosaurs Eating the CEO by John Brogio. It makes you wonder what the Jurassic franchise would be if they portrayed the more gruesome and graphic attacks that are depicted in the novels. We're only 6 months away from Jurassic World Rebirth, and rumors have been swirling that this might be the first film in the series to garner itself an R rating. This begs the question, would we ever see the darker Jurassic Park of Crichton's books? We all know that the Jurassic franchise is a media juggernaut. It consists of 6 films, 2 shows, multiple IPs, including novels and video games, a massive toy campaign that's lasted since 1993, and several theme park rides at Universal Studios over the years. Crichton's original novel was very subdued for its film adaptation. It tamed many of the plot points, such as Nedry's death at the teeth of a Dilophosaurus, by disembowelment, a much more horrifying end than what we got in the finished film. Crichton's next book, The Lost World, received the same treatment, and this basically set the tone for the Jurassic franchise going forward. Would Universal ever consider making an R-rated Jurassic film? Most likely not. We're now 2 children's shows into the franchise with Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, and to drastically up the violence more than they already have at this point would be an odd shift. I draw your attention to Batman Returns, which infamously had a McDonald's toy line which was recalled due to the overly gratuitous violence in the film. Now, the Jurassic franchise luckily has never suffered from that, but there have been questions about whether its PG rating was really justified. This does, however, allow them to sell toys to children because, let's face it, kids love dinosaurs. And that's the one thing that the Jurassic franchise was always kind of aimed at, was a younger audience. As is the case with the Godzilla films, especially -1 and Shin, these Jurassic films were always deemed acceptable for children and families to go see because they weren't overly gratuitously violent. Now, would I like to see an R-rated Jurassic film? Yeah, actually I would. I think it would allow them the chance to add in an aspect of horror that we really never got outside of the novels, and would allow them to portray these as vicious creatures like they actually were. You know, bringing in the horror aspect of scenes like, let's say, the river attack from the first novel. And this is something that I think The Lost World did very well. It definitely upped the ante, especially with Eddie Carr's being split in half by the 2 T-Rexes. But that's about the farthest the Jurassic franchise ever went. And honestly, at this point, I don't see it happening because the franchise is 30 years old. It is well established, and though it's retained much of its cautionary lessons about genetic power and the like, most people look at it as a fun dinosaur-filled adventure series at this point. So even with Rebirth coming out this year, and obviously the persistent rumors that we're going to get an R-rated Jurassic film, I don't think that they'll take that chance only to avoid alienating their audience. I am hopeful that we're going to get some great classic Jurassic action, though, like the first 2 films, and that's all due to the fact that now we have David Koepp back on as screenwriter. So I think if anybody can bring the Jurassic franchise back to its roots, you got to have the original writer there for it. Now, only time will tell, and I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that we're going to possibly get an R-rated film, or do you think that this will be something akin to the darker tone of the first 2, but still keeping it acceptable for families? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Jurassic content, as this year we're really taking a deep dive into the franchise here on Toku Central. And as always, take care.